My name is Alessandro Catarcini. I'm a lead program manager on the live search team and the team that builds the search APIs. Today we're going to talk about what is search when you look at it as a service and how you can use search to make your websites and applications better. Now let's start from the beginning and let's really agree on a few things and agree especially on what is search. Our mission is fundamentally to do three things and be absolutely great at it. We need to be able to deliver you the best results, which if you're a developer or a publisher means that not only we need to give you relevant results, but we need to give you results in the right formats, in the right types, at the right time. Then we need to simplify key tasks. This is very simple. Search is a mean to an end. We shouldn't focus on searching things, we should focus on finding things. The point here is, how can I get you to think of searching for the shortest time possible as a consumer? If I want to know where they're showing the Watchmen movie, I want to know that and get out. If I want to find information about Microsoft Translator, I want to get in and out. So how can we not only do this for consumers, but also allow you as developers or publishers to leverage this power to simplify the key tasks of your users and your consumers. And third, we want to be able to innovate in the business model. So we want to build an ecosystem where we can all make money together. So we want to create a platform where we can share our revenue with you and work better together and be partners. So this is all good and nice, but let's also think about what is a search engine. Well, I'm pretty sure that if I ask anyone in this room, what is search, you would tell me it's that nice website that usually has a nice box at the center of the screen with maybe a button or two next to it. You push it, it goes to do some magic in the back end, and it comes back with a set of links that have a good or bad likelihood of have something to do with what I typed in the beginning. That's very interface of a mainframe of the 60s. So what happened in the last 10 years in search? Where are we going? So the point here is that a modern search engine is much more than just a web index. You have information about the websites, but also the latest news, videos, images, structured data that give you information, for example, on encyclopedia information, weather forecasts and weather statuses all over the world, stock quotes up to a few minutes ago, and many, many, many more data types. Using search as a service really means take all this, put it into a cloud service, and then really serving it to you as you want it for your desktop applications, for your websites, for your devices. I mean, all nice in theory, but what does this really mean for you? So let's take a look at what a few people have done in this idea, and let's see if we can really get your mind in motion on what you really can do with search. So this is Hotmail. This is the latest version of Hotmail that shipped a few weeks ago, and they partnered with us when they discovered that a lot of people that were sending email with Hotmail were just sharing information with a workflow that looked like, I go to a search engine, I look for something, I find something that I like, I cut it, I paste it back in the email that I had started writing, and I send it. And they thought, hey, can we do something together so that we can streamline this and keep our users within Hotmail so that they don't have to go out to another site, do things, come back, cut, paste? Can we make this part of the experience of composing an email? And here is where the quick add pane was born. If you see, there is this pane in the right side that offers you a set of data types. All these are structured data types that come straight from the search engine. So let's imagine that tonight we want to go out and watch a movie. I can click on movies. This is the list of the movies that are shown in this area. So it has already hit our engine to extract where we are based on our IP address. These are the movies that are shown in this area in order of box office hit. And if, for example, I pick The Watchmen, these are the theaters around us where The Watchmen is shown now. And those are the movie show times where we could go out and watch this movie tonight. If I want to send it to my friend Bob, all I have to do is click on this one, and bam, All the relevant data is inserted there with active links to the review of the movies, the address of the theater, the map of where it is, the directions, all in one click without ever leaving Hotmail. Same thing, if I want to add, for example, after the movie, let's imagine that we want to go and eat something. We can pick a restaurant, and we can say that we want to go and eat, let's say, Thai. Maybe I should learn how to spell. I would simply type Thai. Again, it knows where I am. This is a query to our Yellow Pages index that will simply return the list of the restaurants that we have of that type in this area, and with also extra information about reviews, their address, their phone number. Let's pick one. I can click it. It's automatically inserted in the mail. Now, what am I showing you and why I'm showing you this? Because this that you're seeing in the right side is a search results page. So this is something that we have been trained of thinking of as 10 blue links on a white page. Well, this is much more. This returns not just links. This returns search objects. And as search objects, you can do something with this. The implementation of this is that this pane calls the JSON version of the search APIs and extracts data in real time that you can package and insert in the email message itself. Now, what does the offering that we give to you as publishers or developers look like? We call it Project Silk Road because in the Middle Ages, the Silk Road was the way that the merchants from the Western world were walking to get to riches and knowledge. And fundamentally, it builds over a base that we all know. What Microsoft can offer to you traditionally are software products. So our servers are fast products to build enterprise search high-end, or the SharePoint server to build enterprise search in the medium and low end. Core infrastructure, so servers, SQL database, well, all the things that we all know and love or hate, depending. And then we're having three fundamental pillars that we're adding on this as a service. We want to help you increase engagement of your sites. So we want to help you find content and use it, just as is. We want to help you generate traffic, and we can help you there in two ways. One is just by providing you content, and one is by making or helping you making your websites better. So you can use our webmaster tools to verify how your website is doing with our engine, if there are any crawling issues, if you have any links that point to malware, if you got spammed, or other things that could happen. And we want to drive insight. So we're trying to partner with the Ad Center team more and more to offer tools that help you plan, for example, your keyword campaigns and target your analytics. So as I was saying, Project Silk Road is really a collection of heterogeneous products. So you have Live Search API, Video Search, Virtual Earth, the analytics. What we are going to talk about and what I'm going to really focus on in the next few minutes are really going to be my baby, so the Live Search APIs. What is it? What does it offer? Why is it great? Well, it is a set of services that exposes search as a service in a way that today you may think of you have Live ID, that is your authentication service. You have the Mesh, that is your synchronization service. Well, you can think of search as your content service. So every time that you need information or information that integrates or expands what you already have, you can use search. And to do this, you can go through our set of services that is built in such a way that we try to get you the data in the format that is the simplest for you. So today, our API offers endpoints that are a REST endpoint that offers XML, SOAP API, JSON, and RSS, and all these endpoints talk to the same execution engine in the backend. So they are absolutely equivalent and absolutely identical in the data that they return to you. Secondly, we have launched a pilot that for the time being is limited to the US, where we offer you through the same API both paid search results and algorithmic search results. In other words, you can get search ads as one of the types that you are asking for in your API call. The third thing, we're trying to be as flexible as we can in terms of what we are letting you do with the data. We understand that we can't give you a one-size-fits-all solution. If you are building your own search solution, you have some needs that are unique and that are yours. So you need some flexibility on what you do with the data. This is why we want to give you complete flexibility on how you render the results, and we give you complete flexibility on how you rank or interleave our results with other data for web results. And fourth point, which I think is another pretty important point, is that as long as you comply with the terms of use that are really nothing more than you're not going to use it to build a terrorism support site or other bad things, the usage is unlimited. So just come in, use it, do what you need to do with it, and partner with us. We want to be your content service. So this is the set of features that we had for a while. I mean, this set of APIs was launched in last November. You probably saw a blog post on the Live Search blog a couple of days ago that we made good strides. We are at about 3 billion queries a month served and about 5,000 users actively using this API. Well, we can't come to MIX without announcing something new, can we? So what we're letting you doing starting today is that everyone will be able to have access to our video search index. So you will be able to search for videos programmatically using the search API. You will be able to access a special index that is designed for mobile web pages, so WAP and compact HTML and compact XHTML pages, which would be available for starters in the US market and in the Chinese market. We're announcing the support in the API for the advanced multimedia filters. Those of you that have used the image search or the video search on live.com have noticed that you can send queries of the type, give me all the images that are actually drawings of cats that are black and white and that tends to have a proportion that makes them narrow and tall versus wide and short. Now you can send this type of query in a structured way through the API as well. And last but not least, we will soon go live with the Live Search Power Toys, so a shared source project on Codeplex, where we will continue growing a set of controls, tools, samples, and best practices that has the purpose of shortening the time to market of any solution that you guys want to build. Now, I talked a lot, so I would say that after the tell, it's probably time to do some show. So what does it mean to use the API and to really put it to work? How difficult is it to do something or to build something with the API? And we can start from something pretty simple. It is a very small HTML page that calls the JSON API that looks like this right now. So it's a button. When I push this button, all I do is I call getResults. GetResults is a function that will set city and state to Boulder, Colorado, and will call the JSON API to just fetch some results. In this case, I want to fetch the local news that are around Boulder, Colorado, and the main websites that talk about Boulder, Colorado. So just to see how it works, I just push this button, and these are the news from local news about Boulder. Well, these are websites that talk about Boulder. All this, as you see, is done in this much code. This is all that there is. And the majority of this, as you see, is just injecting HTML or concatenating strings. There is really nothing more than hitting the URL, getting back the JSON payload. In this case, I used the callback version of a JSON API So just a classic JSON-P pattern where the results come and call a callback that I have provided as a parameter of the call, and bam, I'm in business. Now, this was a little prototype that I had put together because one of the things that, of course, you don't know about me is that I'm an avid biker. And one thing that I often do when I travel is that I like to take 1 or 2 days to just go around and do a couple of biking trips in the area. And what I found is that there's no website that really pulls together information that are relevant for bikers like me. So how could I fix that, also showcasing what we can do? So I started with this little example of how the API worked. And then I started expanding this more and more until the end result looked something like this. So at this point, I introduced the virtual Earth Ajax control. I added a few pins so that the location is no longer determined statically, but I click on a location and I get something with it. So let's see what happens if I click on Boulder, Colorado. I'm running a query to the system, and I'm pulling down sponsored links, both in the main line and in the sidebar. So this is a way that I could use to monetize the page. I pulled information from the Encarta Encyclopedia, again, through the search API and the instant answer type, so I know how big of a city Boulder is. I pulled information about the local restaurants and hotels. I got the top 4 images of Boulder, Colorado in our image index. And of course, since I didn't want to have too boring a layout, I just built and hacked together a little Silverlight control to render them, just because I could, actually. And of course, what about bicycling videos in Boulder, Colorado? What about other information? All this website is probably an HTML page that is, what is it, less than 10K. It's completely self-contained. And all it does is that it calls the search service a couple of times to pull in the different data with different queries. It took about 3 hours to put it together. And actually, one thing that we're hearing more and more as a feedback from our early adopters is that it is really, really fast to go to market using our API. You probably saw the news a few months ago of Facebook using us. The whole implementation of Facebook end-to-end took about 10 days of one developer, including the eye candy and the layout and everything. So we just launched, as I was saying earlier, something new and something pretty amazing, which is this brand new sample of a web index. And if you're here, you are not at a talk that is happening at the same time, that talks about the new translator APIs that we have just launched. So I thought, well, can I put together something that shows very quickly and very simply how you could use these together? So I hacked around a few lines of C# calling the SOAP version of the search API and the SOAP version of the translator. And I built a little Windows mobile application that is really simple. It's just nothing more than the classic mobile form with a search box and a button that pulls up the top 2 web search results for mobile. And that allows you to translate the description using the automatic translator into another language. So here's the app running in the Windows Mobile Phone emulator. And for example, I can type my query, Las Vegas. So here it is instantiating all the SOAP objects, hitting the services, fetching back the results. Well, again, it's the emulator on our loaded machine. So did it get the click? Okay, if you will see eventually the list of the mobile pages for Las Vegas, and the drop-down there is designed to show you the ability to translate the description of the website into a different language. Okay, it's completely hanged. Let's try this way. So in the meantime, while the demo restarts, I'd like to call on stage Stephen Milroy, who is a technical specialist for the translator team, to tell you more about what the machine translation API is, who is the most recent addition to the Silk Road family.
Thanks, Alessandro. My name's Steve Milroy. I work with the Microsoft Translator team as a technology specialist. So I just wanted to give you a little bit more context. You may have seen at MIX that we've been announcing the new Microsoft Translator service, which is both a widget that you can add to web pages, but also a set of APIs that you can integrate with web applications in terms of an AJAX interface, as well as SOAP and REST APIs. So if you haven't seen some of the piece of information floating around, we have invite codes. So if you want to get set up and start using that, the translator service is something that's actually been in the works at Microsoft now for over 10 years. It's a lot of complexity behind the scenes, but in terms of implementing it in your application, very easy with, again, either AJAX, SOAP, or REST-based APIs. We currently support 13 languages, and it really just allows you to do on-the-fly translation, whether it's single words on buttons, or whether it's sentences or paragraphs of text within an application, or you can even do full document translation on the fly too. And we've seen some things like integrating it with SharePoint and search and other capabilities to do full document translation. So how you doing with that?
Well, we got progress. At this point, instead of just hanging, it's telling us that it cannot connect to the network. I'm afraid that we need
So feel free to come and see me afterwards. I'll give you the invite code, and you can also, there's a session happening at the same time on the translator APIs that you could watch within 24 hours if you're interested in seeing some more of the demonstrations. So thank you very much.
And anyone interested in seeing the demo working can see it on my phone after the session. Sorry about mishap. So since we launched the new API in November, we got on board about 5,000 people across the world. There are also some big names among this: China Telecom, MSNBC, Facebook, Viacom, Legit. So we're getting some pretty substantial momentum there. As I was saying, we're driving about 3 billion queries a month through the service, which is a pretty sizable percentage. There are also two sets of APIs that we have recently released that are designed not as much to return search results as much as helping people sending the right query. So you probably saw this morning in the keynote about IE8 the capability of IE to display visual suggestions. So we thought about what is a way that we could really use this functionality to do something about our tenet of simplify key tasks. And one thing that we noticed is that a lot of people are coming to the search engine to get quick information, just get in and get out. So for example, there are some queries like weather, stock quotes that happen pretty often for people who just want that nugget of information and getting out. Now, what would you want to see if somebody typed weather in the search box? Wouldn't it be nice if you could see just the weather status of where we are right now, just right there? I mean, there's no need to have you navigate to the page just to give you this information. It's already there. You got it. Or another example, if I type here a stock quote, for example, MSFT, here you go. This is the stock quote at 15 minutes ago. Or again, if we have something like, I don't know, even something as simple as 2 + 2, 4. something a little bit less simple, x plus 4 equals 0. And again, there's an entire solver with equations up to the 4th degree. Only real results. We don't have the complex results yet. So this is an idea about, and we're going to add more and more instant answers into this. This is a QSML feed that is served through the standard format that IE8 has fully documented on MSDN. So anyone can connect to this and just get these results. Another version of this feed is simpler. And it's something that actually our friends on the Silverlight team have used to build a sample for the Silverlight toolkit. Are you guys familiar with what a Silverlight toolkit is? Well, it is a project on Codeplex that is periodically updated, that ships controls for Silverlight that are built by one of the sub-teams of the bigger Silverlight team that are ready to use in your projects. In the December drop, they added a control that is an autocomplete box, which is, as the name suggests, a text box that can display a drop-down with options. And one of the examples that we helped them to build is a search box with suggestions. So this sample is up there. You can get the source code on Codeplex. It's silverlight.codeplex.com. And as you can see, the experience is very simple. You are just getting the text suggestions. This example hits an alternate endpoint that serves word wheeling query suggestions, this time in a JSON format. So it's super compact, doesn't hog the wire. You just get them, get out, and they're based on prefixes. So if you're typing Microsoft, we're not going to suggest Google as one of the suggestions, as you may get if you were looking for a related search. Now, one of the projects that one of our major customers delivered recently is something that got me really excited, because they really got to the core of thinking of search not just as the place where you're getting the 10 blue links back, but search is the place where I can get a lot more data about something that I already have. So now I would like to invite on stage Greg Brass, who is the director of profile search in careerbuilder.com, that will talk to us about a project that they implemented using our APIs, and that they had originally implemented in ASP.NET and then moved in Silverlight, and will tell us about what was the problem that he solved and how the search API helped them solving it.
Hello, appreciate your time. Like Alessandro was mentioning, we have a project at CareerBuilder where we're discovering that recruiters are coming to the CareerBuilder site. They're looking for candidates to fill their job openings. They're coming to the site. They're looking at resumes. They're trying to figure out which candidate is the best candidate for me to bring in, to interview, to hire. And you're making all these big decisions off of a 1- or 2-page resume. So what we're discovered is a lot of our customers, they're coming to the CareerBuilder site, they're looking at the resume, but then they're pulling the name off the resume. They're going off our site, going to a search engine. A lot of them go to that other site that starts with the G, but we're trying to steer them back to the Microsoft search. But what we discovered is they're going to these sites and they're typing in a person's name, John Smith, and doing an internet search for this person because they want to find what other information there is beyond the resume. Is the resume accurate information? Maybe they're a graphic designer and I want to go find examples of their work out on the web. Well, there's all this great information out on the web, the digital footprint of a candidate. So we're trying to help them out by creating a solution that they can come to the CareerBuilder site, which I'm going to show you in just a second, and do the search from within the CareerBuilder site, but pull in all this great external information. But on top of that is we're going out and we're helping them write better searches. Because if I'm going out and searching for a John Smith, if I just type in John Smith into a search engine, how do you know I have the right John Smith? Well, the great thing at Career Builder is on the resume, we have all this great valid information. Let me see if I can get the right screen. Is it this one? There we go. So like if I come into the Career Builder resume database, I'm just going to use myself as an example. Don't mind sharing all my personal information here. But this is actually my resume. I posted on the Career Builder site a couple of years ago, so you can see my job history is not up to date because I had since obviously joined Career Builder. But if I go out and I just wanted to find more information on Greg Brass, if I had just copied that information, left the site, went out and did my search, you may find information on me, you might find information on another Greg Brass. But what we've got is all this great information, job titles, education, additional skills. So what we're doing is we're taking all that information and we're writing the search to go out and look on the internet. So if I pull up the Applicant Explorer detailed results, this is going to pull up the detailed screen. But you can see there's 2 columns of information. The match results is something we started on our own. We've got a lot of great crawling technologies, matching technologies at Career Builder. So we went after some of the largest social networking sites, tried to find information on people. But the thing we found is we can't do this for the entire internet, every single website out there. So that's where we reached out to the live search team and got their help to augment what we're already doing. And as he had mentioned earlier, we needed flexibility. We wanted large scale. I mean, we may be sending out up to 600,000 API calls a day using Applicant Explorer. But the other big thing is how I mentioned, we're searching not just on the name, but we're searching on employers. Well, a person may have 3 or 4 previous employers or what schools they went to. So we're mixing and matching probably 10 to 15 complex Boolean searches using live search. So we want to get all those results back, but then we want to re-rank them in orders that makes more sense to our users. So that was one of the great things with live search is we were able to go out and put the results in a method that makes sense to us. So we can go out and find things and pull up a social networking site about myself. I always love how demos, the internet always seems to go slow. But when this pulls up, one of the side benefits we've discovered with this is, see, we found Greg Brass. Well, the great thing here is, you saw my resume, it still said I worked at MSI. Well, since MSI, I've now been at Career Builder, or CBeyond, and now Career Builder. So we've been able to enhance the whole experience for a recruiter on the Career Builder site because now resumes that have old information, you can go in and fill in the gaps, update information that hasn't been updated on a resume yet. So you can get a better picture of who the candidate is that you're looking at. And it'll even go out and find great things. Right here, just happens, it found a blog posting that referenced me. So you can just get a lot of great information about the person you're considering hiring, going beyond just looking at the information on the resume. So that's where we started by using the live search. As we dug into this project, the next step we discovered was, it's great, we have the results here, but different recruiters want to look at the information in different ways. Right now, we're creating a lot of value for them, presenting this information, but recruiters might say, I want to look at information this way, I want to be able to filter, slice and dice, change the look and feel of how my experience of looking at this external data. So really in the last couple weeks, we've just been exploring a whole new prototype of the next level, which is we're starting to incorporate Silverlight into what we're building out here. So this is a prototype of what we're working on right now. So instead of just the static results, we're going to bring in the extended results and add some more functionality to allow the user to look at it in different ways that'll help them meet their needs, whether you look at information as list tiles. We even have the cloud that'll show relevancy of how the information match. You remember that Bright Fuse was that top profile, so it was the most relevant one for me, and it filters right there to the top. But you can look at this information in lots of different ways that can be very beneficial. And I'm going to let Rod Kessler come up and sort of speak about some of the technology behind what he helped us build out in this prototype. Thanks.
We'll see. Am I on? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Rod Kessler. I'm the CTO of Hatch Innovations, and we're the company that built the control itself. We have interest in Silverlight 3 as well as the Live Search API, so it was a good marriage for us. We knew both the teams, and we're using the Live Search API and a lot of gadgets that we're actually rolling out this summer when the Silverlight 3 runtime goes live, and in other products. The biggest thing that I can tell you about implementing this was that it was incredibly easy. It was so easy to implement the Live Search API and to support all the different media types that I was literally able to focus entirely on the user interface, and I was also able to present all the media types that are available with the Live Search 2.0 API and not really spend very much time on that. And in addition to that, I was actually able to create a JSON implementation, an XML implementation, and a SOAP implementation within a week and a half, and put this all into a GUI framework that was it is a base framework. It's a control suite that is going to be reusable by public developers potentially at some point. We're all still talking about that and coming up with the parameters of how it's going to be rolled out, potentially an SDK. So it's a base engine of Silverlight. It's a base component suite of Silverlight controls that already has the consumption of the API built into it. But then in addition to that, we put on the customer hat, and serving Career Builder, we went back and said, okay, now we're going to take this base component suite that's completely skinnable, completely brandable, and we're going to turn around and pretend we put on the customer hat, and we're going to implement that for Career Builder. And so by driving this component and scanning this component, we were able to make it brand customized for Career Builder, and also exercise all the different features of the component suite itself. So look for this. You may see it at some point between the Silverlight team and the Live Search team. We'll be getting it down to a SDK quality component, and we're doing a lot of stuff with accessibility and that sort of thing, improving some of the ergonomics. I think the biggest thing is it's an incredible testament to what you can do in a week and a half with Live Search and Silverlight. This is a Silverlight 2 component. Probably by the time anybody sees it in the public, it's going to be a Silverlight 3 component. Paging, everything that you would expect. We did the tag cloud view. There's some interesting things you can do here with, which one am I on?
The black one.
This one, okay. You can even go in and things you just couldn't do with a web interface. Magnification, you can zoom in. When you get into tag cloud views where you're showing relevancy in a graphical fashion, you end up with bunching and that sort of thing. We're going to be making some improvements to that. It honors everything that an internet user would expect with a browser experience, like clicking on the title opens the result in the same window. You can control click to open it in a new tab, gets around the pop-up blockers. You've got control over the axis on the bottom. Your vertical axis is relevancy, but you can change what the horizontal axis is from alphabetical to date, to size even, which matters with media. If you're looking at video results, well, this is really, the media types is really one of the incredible things. We're high magnification right now. I'm going to zoom back out and so that you can actually see what the results are. But these are, image results and video results are something that you couldn't have gotten for candidates with the existing HTML interface unless you did a lot of work with Ajax. But also the ability to visualize them in a way that is much more ergonomic for an end user. I'm going to go back to tiles and go back to images. So, if we're looking at a candidate, and a candidate is particularly active in the blogosphere, or they have hobbies, that kind of thing, that's the kind of data that a recruiter can get that is not going to be normally available from just looking in a common web search interface. So we hope that that's going to improve the stickiness and keep recruiters on the site and really get them to be able to drill into what they really want to see and learn some more personal things about a candidate other than just where they worked and that sort of thing. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
So this is pretty much the gist of it. So what can you do about this? Well, first of all, walk away knowing that Microsoft has a broad set of tools and that what we do want is to make you successful online. So let's become good partners. Let's work together. Let us help you become successful. There are 3 things that you can do. Number 1, sign up for the APIs. Try them. Just go to search.live.com/developers or just click on the developers link in the footer of any page in live.com. That would take you to the developer portal that will point you to all the documentation, the SDKs, the forums, the place where you can get an application ID and just be in business right away. Number 2, use our webmaster tools. We can help you analyzing your website and making it better. And number 3, sign up for Ad Center, not only for the pilot, but also take a look at our keyword marketing tools, and let's work together. At this point, I'm wildly early with my talk, so the floor is open for questions. I'm all yours. Yes?
The search control, I've still got my mic on, which is good, actually. The search control was developed specifically for Microsoft as a common suite, and then as a custom control for Career Builder as a consumer of that control suite. So at some point, that suite of controls is probably going to be available to the public. I mean, I can't say that for sure because the teams that are all involved at Microsoft, it's their decisions. But we're actually rolling out some products this summer for Silverlight 3 that are gadgets that are going to be consuming the live search API. I'm trying to be really sincere. I'm pushing it because I had a whole suite of gadgets last year that I simply couldn't get data feeds for. It was either a case of it was a third-party feed that was too expensive, or it's a third-party feed that I wasn't sure was going to be around and something I didn't feel comfortable about productizing. There's a tremendous amount of data coming in live search. I'd keep my eyes peeled. There's going to be some really interesting things coming up, announcements, new data feeds, and that kind of thing. And Ad Center also, we're actually going to be using that on a corporate basis because we're already consuming the live search API, so we're going to use that too. You know, it's just too easy.
Yes, sir.
How can I use the API to do search on my desktop? Or is there any other API for this?
The question is, how can you use the API to search the desktop? Well, the short answer is that search is right now divided into 3 domains. So if you think about it as really 3 different layers, you have the innermost layer, which is I'm searching my machine. The second layer, which is I'm searching my intranet. And the third layer, which is I'm searching the outer world. What we talked about today is this last part. So how do I search the outer world? To searching the 2 inner layers, there are solutions that are the Windows desktop search. So they have an entire SDK that you can use to just plug into the indexing service that they have that would index locally all your files and that you can talk to directly on your local machine. To search on a larger intranet, you have solutions that go from the simpler to the more complicated, going through a SharePoint server or FAST. So the recent acquisition that we made last year, that are more about enterprise search. And last, if you really want to pull data from the known universe, then this is where the Live Search API comes in. So it's more federation story that you're looking for. So really, the data that is the closest to you is probably the one that you don't want to put on the search index because it's yours. There's really privacy issues and other. Yes, sir.
Example to show us how to search for some video based on
Sure.
Remember that sock puppet they had for the Super Bowl ad that showed the sock puppet like a dust bunny a year after the bust?
So, considering that we have a little bit of time, why don't I try a gimmick? So I'll try to build the API call that pulls that video and then navigate to the URL that is returned to show you that it's really that one. Let's see if we can do that.
Alessandro, why don't you also just show out our video
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
So let's start from. So this is a standard live.com video page search. So I'm sorry, which Super Bowl ad was the one?
They had, remember the year that they had like half a dozen pets.com companies, and then a year later after the internet bust, then there was a great Super Bowl ad that had the sock puppet that was being blown along as a dust bunny.
Let's try sock puppet Super Bowl ad. Well, we would have something here. So it's a YouTube video that has been returned. So I don't have Flash installed on this machine, so if I hover over this, if I had Flash installed, you would see the video starting to play right in the thumbnail, the first 30 seconds of it, or half of the video, whatever is short. Clicking on it will navigate to this page that would, again, start showing the video if I had Flash installed, which I don't. Through the API call.
Is this search based on keywords that are associated with the particular video, so that somebody has to have already entered that, or is your search based on something that's content?
It's kind of a mix. So there is the context of the page that contains the video, trying to figure out what the video is about, kind of so some heuristics. And the site where the video is, the keywords that are associated to the video. So it's all thrown in a big pot, stirred, and the result is the relevance of the video itself. So in this case, we search for a very specific video, so there's only one result. Yes, sir?
If you use the Live Search API, how far can you scope down or narrow down the scope for a search? For example, can you say, just show me all files for, I don't know, this subfolder or this subdomain, how far I can customize it? Because I remember it's been done
So,
before.
yeah, the question is how powerful are the scoping operators for queries in the Search API? The answer is simple. The backend and the middle tier are exactly the same that live.com uses. So any query that is legal and allowed in live.com works in the API as well. So the site operator in live.com allows you to restrict to a subdomain, and we go down up to one level. So it's this is the maximum amount of resolution that you can get with a scoping operator. Yes, sir?
Can you use, once you pull a search, can you use like the data from that?
Yes.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, basically the question was, when you're using the Search API and you get some results, I mean, are you able to navigate to the link that you get back and do something with it? Of course, yes.
I think he means link.
The link is in LINQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you use link, LINQ?
Oh, link, of course. Actually, one of the things that we have in the pipeline is a link provider that will release soon in the Power Toys. That will basically be a layer over the API that allows you to directly just talk link to the search engine.
What are the Power Toys?
Well, the first Power Toys that we're going to release in a couple of days is a slideshow that comes from the image index. So it's an endless slideshow that, for example, will show you all the images of fishing in Alaska. And we'll continue to show an endless flow of images. Then we're having in the pipeline a news sticker that will show all the news. That could be the local news, the financial news, the latest news, just, again, coming straight from the news index in a continuous fashion, and more. I mean, we're having a long set of mini projects of this type.
You show an image search. Just show an image search. Do a search on Moto Guzzi.
I'm sorry.
Do an image search on Moto Guzzi. Show one an image search. Because the endless loop, a lot of people haven't seen that before. You do Italian, so do Moto Guzzi or Ducati or something. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there. You just like
So I don't know if you're familiar with our image search that has an endless scroll. So basically, as long as there are images in the index, we keep feeding them.
So you don't have to click next. It's just
So there's no next to click. You just scroll down. And there's more and more and more and more and more. And we keep on coming.
It's awesome.
Okay, I guess that this is all. Thank you for coming. Try us. And if you have any question, we try to be very, very responsive on the forums. So feel free to go to the forums from linked to from search.live.com/developers, and either myself or somebody on my team usually replies within 6 hours.
Thank you.
Thank you.